All right, what's up, everyone? I'm using my cell phone for this video. What you see here is an eBay special, used and abused, Arrma, Outcast slash Notorious. Now, you can see it's a little banged up and everything. It's actually super clean now. When I first got it, it was covered in mud. I mean, horribly covered in mud everywhere. Um, the cool thing about this car is it came with, I don't know if you can see, let me see if I can see it right. Okay, right here is a little bit better shot. So right there is looks like a hot racing bulkhead, which is cool. Front one is stock plastic. Can't see it, but it is stock plastic. They are missing a whole bunch of screws all over the place. There's a bunch of mixed match screws all in here. You can see some silver head ones, some black screws, all kinds of funky stuff going on. Spectrum motor with the Spectrum Smart Firma ESC. I was pressure washing this car, not really close, but anyway, the rubber thing flew out of there, so you just got to stick something in there to turn it on. While it was working, I made some quick adapters, Deans to EC5, and I wanted to take advantage of the two 3S batteries I had sitting there, just to see if this thing would turn on. And just because of the way that Spectrum wires up their stuff, they just they wire it so you can run two 3S's in series, or you get your jumper that shorts it out, and you would have 1.6S standalone. Anyway, not to drag this out too long. This fried. I took it out for one little rip. Boom, thing won't even turn on. The red light in here comes on, but it doesn't do anything at all. The fan doesn't even come on. I don't know what's going on with this speed control. I'm assuming something happened to these connectors. You can see it's missing this little smart thing. It's hanging off right there. They put some electrical tape around their connectors and stuff. So whoever had this thing really bashed the crap out of it. And it's actually a bunch of mixed match stuff. So let's start with the electronics. This is more like what comes on your V5 stuff, right? Like that came in my Creighton down there and stuff. This newer electronics is what was what came with this vehicle, but it came with this transmitter. So if you have a smart system, I don't know exactly where you're supposed to see what your battery life is if you have this controller. So it seems to me that they had a V4 or older setup. They bashed the crap out of their original setup, hence why they probably got this M2C chassis down there. We'll get to that in a second. And then they went online on eBay and probably saw some pre-owned or brand new takeoff Spectrum stuff. So this is not bad stuff, but I believe that they knew the ESC was going out, and that's why they sold it on eBay. I still believe that I got a fair deal. I'm not going to disclose prices and stuff, but I feel like I got a really good deal having some hot racing upgrades like this this chassis brace right here, and rear and in the front. And also, it looks like they sprung for some EXP shock towers, which is just a little bit thicker than stock, but EXP doesn't really mean anything in my mind because it's still bent, as you can see. So that doesn't matter, EXP or regular. I would say if you're going to upgrade anything, do not use anything that Arrma says is Extreme Bash. I would go with something that's a little bit more robust, like even Hot Racing, M2C, stuff like that, which would be a lot thicker. And then they have gussets and stuff that address some of these areas. Bending it this way, though, the way this is bent, I don't think really too much there's anything you could do unless you had something that was like super, super thick, like twice the thickness of that. This rear shock, I can't do it with the camera, with the phone in my hand, but it sticks and then it goes up. It sticks and then it goes up. So it doesn't feel like there's any oil in there. So that could be part of the sticking. So there's probably no lubrication in it, and or the shock shaft is bent. And every time you try to push it up, it's trying to, it's like that and trying to whatever. Like I said, missing screws, but I do have a whole kit coming with screws and all the good stuff. Let's move around to the front. Like I mentioned already, M2C chassis, that right there, already a huge upgrade on this $140 chassis. So I think that's a pretty good deal there. And looks like they did something up front here. I don't know what brand this is, but it doesn't matter. It's probably, I don't know if it was plastic like the rear one. I'm assuming it could have been plastic. But I don't know. I don't know what the original one would have looked like, because this is like a Frankenstein car. It's just all these mixed matched pieces. Fairly good tires. At least they did hook me up on some tires, which is nice of them to not give me bald tires. RPM upper control arms. So when they put these on, I don't know, they look fairly new. So it looks like they just started putting some of these things on and then said, you know what, ESC's starting to go, let's hurry up and sell this thing and see if we can get a good deal, a good price for it. Of course, there wasn't a lot of bids on it, and it went in it. But look at that. I mean, I understand you want to put stuff together, but probably shouldn't be in the hobby if you're doing crap like that. So I had to go down to the hobby shop, and I ended up picking up, well, this is for my ATIS down there, but I got these little guys. I'm pretty sure they're the right size. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. So these little spacer doodads are what go up here, and it centers your upper control arm and keeps it from wandering around like that. And then you're gonna get some super crazy drifting on your steering, and that's what was happening when I took it out for the 2.5 seconds that it did run. And yeah, so there's some work to be done here, and that's fine. I already kind of knew going into this I was gonna have to work on it. I'm going to take the front diff, the rear diff, and the center diff completely apart. I really just want to get this thing running and see how it performs and see if there's any like noises and stuff that I don't like. But just like any other diff out there, that's leaking, and that's got some crap around it down in there. It's really hard to pick up on this camera, and then there's leakage down there, and that all exposed itself when I did a super good clean. I do a very lightly diluted simple green wash. If I dilute it too much, it really doesn't do anything. So you leave it super concentrated for the most part, and just douse this whole thing. I don't believe I was the one, even with the pressure washer going, that fried this ESC, because I've washed everything else that I have. Like I said, my Creighton, and I'll show you here. It's just basically the same ESC, just on a bigger scale. If I can, God, these things are so hard to get off sometimes. Break these little tabs holding on. But I know the video's not about my Creighton, but just to give you an idea, same deal. I wash this stuff with water, so and you can see the housing center diff. They just all leak. No matter what you have, they all kind of have a little leakage. The oil will find its way out of little cracks and stuff. Yeah, you can see that's towed in a little bit. Again, like I said, this is for a separate video. But I didn't want to go spend any more money, right? Too much money. And I just didn't want to deal with that. So, this is the body it came with. Completely thrash. It's a Notorious body, so this is probably the Notorious car, but the only difference between Notorious and Outcast is the body. Yeah, someone was smoking something for all that, do all that. But anyway, here's my Savage conversion that's been sitting here collecting dust, and I just don't like really looking at it. It was underneath the house. The reason why I don't want to look at it, because it's just a lot of money that I put into this for it to be just a paperweight. I'm not going to talk about it, but this setup right here, which this is all janky right here. I'll cut that crap off and then put my connectors on. But this is what I'm going to be using in my Outcast. It's the Mamba X. It's a 1515 motor. Sorry, I'm back. It's when my phone cuts off at 10 minutes. But anyway, like I was saying, Castle Mamba X 1515 motor. I don't remember what the amperage is on this ESC, but there's plenty of people online, YouTube and stuff, and they're putting this setup on their Outcast 8th scale. So this should be fun. I'm hoping that this mount that I bought, and I believe it's an RPM. Does that say RPM down there? I can't really see, but I'm pretty sure that's an RPM mount, and I'm hoping this mounts right into this location right there. There's a screw, and back down right there is another screw. So I'm hoping it's the same measurements and everything, and I could just drop the ESC right in. Motor will bolt right up, no problem. The only thing that I think the Arrma did a really good job, or Spectrum, I'm sorry, did a really good job with their pinion retention here, is putting that little C-clip, circlip, or whatever you want to call it, at the end there. So if you won't lose your pinion, and that's a really good deal. I've never really had a problem losing an pinion. If you use the right Loctite, all this stuff, and crank it down pretty good, you're good to go. And I believe on this motor, I can't see in there. It's going to be impossible, but I believe it's the D-shaped shaft, so you don't have to worry about it spinning on the shaft. And with all this torque and stuff, that's the last thing you want. So, but like I was saying, I made my little connector adapters here for my Deans. Now I know Deans can only handle, I think, up to 100 amps, which is not ideal for this setup, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to be going crazy. I'm just going to rip around a little bit and see if I can get this thing running. So I'm going to continue using these, right? Not my adapters, but just my batteries. And then I'm going to use this series adapter right here, but I'm going to change out, I'm going to actually use one of those adapters for right here that I have over here. So one of these adapters is going to come in like this, boop, and then at the end of this guy, I'll get it prepped for new batteries, and I will go ahead and put on some IC5s. Now, the only reason why I bought the IC5s was because they look cooler than the EC5s. So if you look at the EC5s, that's just how your typical EC5 looks, right? Oops, sorry. You know, and I did a quick solder job, so it's not like perfect looking, but anyway, whatever, that's what they look like. This has that little cap that comes down and clips, and it's gonna look more kind of like a stock Spectrum setup in a way, but I won't pre-wire it like this, because in the future I'm going to be running one single battery 6S battery, and I won't need all this crap, and I won't need my jumper to short it out to continue the flow. I don't really need all that. So that's the reason why I'm just going to solder up an IC5 straight to here, and then all my new battery will have an EC5 connector. I don't think anything does IC5 except for Spectrum batteries. So I will get my tried and true. You can't see it in there, but my tried and true. Does it say it on this? Nope, hiding the name. Man, kind of. Let's see. Oh, right there. My tried and true. People can talk all they want. I don't care. I've been using these for years. My HRBs. So, very good batteries. I've gone through a whole bunch of different Venoms, Genzays, you know, and my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law has the Spectrum batteries. They're all freaking the same, and actually some of those name brands actually don't last as long as these HRBs. So I think HRB is the way to go if you want to get a really good basher battery and stuff like that. Who cares about the monitoring and stuff like that, especially with my controller that doesn't even, you know, hook up to this supposedly intelligent thing. So my brother-in-law ditched his Spectrum batteries and went to the HRB, and he's so glad he did, because he can get like 2 or 3 batteries for the price of one, and you're gonna have just as fun bashing. So lots of work to do here, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm going to do this right after I shoot this video. I'm going to take all this crap out right here. I'm going to do a quick solder job. And then I'm going to remove all this stuff out of here. And I'm going to slowly put stuff together. In reality, I really want to clean everything up. But that's not to say I can't just take everything out again and do a good clean job. Or I might not, and I might just get to my differentials later and stuff. But I just want to get this thing running. I want to see how it performs. It was a wheelie monster already with this stock setup, so I'm assuming it's going to be a wheelie monster with my castle setup. My castle setup's also censored. I just don't know if it's that, whatever they call it, the hybrid or whatever, where it turns into sensorless later on. I'll read up, but this is an old system. I bought this system back in like 2015, I think, somewhere around there. So I don't know if they had that technology yet where it would disable the censored mode while you're driving, or you get up to a certain RPM, whatever it is. So I'm hoping that's the case with this. Otherwise, I will lack a little bit of that high speed performance with the censored setup, vice a sensorless setup. But I believe I can hook up my my data cable, and I think I can turn off sensor mode completely, which will essentially make it a sensorless setup, and it'll get super speedy fast. But I don't like the cogging when I'm going slow. And the place we go to drive, sometimes you go up these little hills and stuff, and you kind of want to go slow. You don't want to be flying over the top and hitting someone's car. So you go slow, and it kind of cogs and does all that weird stuff. But anyway, ramble. I got my work cut out for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff set up here shortly. And then I might just pick up off this video, or I might make a whole new video on it, like a part number 2, and go from there. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and catch the next one later.